Welding radiuses, I hear you ask. Well, ever since I built the hugely successful TIG torch holder, I felt like it was perhaps a little lonely. And that's the reason why I got into TIG welding, was to make stuff. I decided that I would make myself a nice holder for my filler rod. You know, you get the idea. So it turns out rather perfectly for this project I have an alarming number of bits of old exhaust pipe which for some reason people keep giving to me. Jesus, does this look like a fucking scrap? Oh. So first on my list of things to do is amass the various bits of scrap shit that I'm going to need to make this, or that I think I'm going to need to make this. Number one, I suppose, is pipe. Some kind of flat stock for the base. Dependent on the design I'm going to use, some kind of, I don't know, angle stock. And of course, a welder. And there we have it, everything you will need to make a filler rod stand. So why welding radiuses? Well, the pipe I'd like to build my filler rod stand out of is round. I know, it came as a shock to me as well, but just hear me out. At some point in the hopefully not so distant future, I would quite like to fabricate part of an exhaust pipe for my car. You can't make an exhaust pipe out of box section, or can you? I don't know, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it, but right now I'm working with your very standard run-of-the-mill round-ish pipe. Welding a radius has a whole different skill set to welding something that is straight. Neither of these skill sets are ones that I possess. But let's be honest here, you're not subscribed to this channel for the quality instructional welding videos, are you? You're not, right? So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking of this kind of design because I can put this section here over the sort of the corner of the welding bench, if you like, and then hang it off like that. I know, I should have stayed in art school. It also means that when I change my bench and build the new bench that I want to build, I can just move this over and maybe bolt it down or something like that. And this pipe actually has a bend in it, and I'm going to use that bend to kind of angle it slightly towards the bench so the filler rod doesn't sort of splay out everywhere. You might think that that was by design. It wasn't. I didn't actually realise that this had a bend in it. So after I cleaned it up and cut it and all that kind of stuff, I just couldn't be bothered to cut a straight piece. So I'm going to make the best of a bad situation, which is pretty much mostly what I do with welding. And while we're all up in each other's personal space and being honest, full disclosure here, this wasn't, or rather won't be, my first attempt. Some were more successful than others. That one was, yeah, don't look at that, Jesus. This one was reasonably successful. This, on the other hand, the reason it's bent is not for radius practice. May or may not have taken a trip across the garage, because obviously it was the metal's fault and not mine. Yeah, this is yeah, let's not talk about that bit. We ain't talking until you apologise. So I suppose we finally reached that point where we need to stop procrastinating. Well, I guess I avoided a stamp on the grinder loyalty card. Guess I am getting... Damn it. To get this to sit up here on this magnet and be level was a lot more effort than I was initially prepared for. I managed not to blow through the corners, so I'm pretty happy. One of the quite nice features about this torch, I think, is it's got a flexible head. Shame the rest of the cable isn't flexible. Safe as houses, mate. This is the piece that's really bothering me. One, it's round. Two, it's not square. Three, it has a 360-degree curve. None of which I am prepared for. Maintaining the torch angle as I go around, and also being able to see my weld pool, looks almost impossible. How I'm gonna get in behind it to weld this bit in here, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. So as much as I don't want to show you any of this, let's just take a look at this weld around this radius. Oh look! I found some dimes. It is stuck to the base plate. So if you cast your mind back to my picture before, you will see that I have made exactly what was on the board. I definitely think that's worth counting as a win. And eagle-eyed viewers, well, viewers with eyes, will be able to see the very glaringly obvious design fault in this. Or more particularly, the design fault in how it was put together. A smarter man than me would have welded the tube onto the base plate first. The obvious reason for why is that getting in behind here with this in the way was a fuck. Yes, the back is not my finest work. So I guess that's something to bear in mind for next time, for when I start producing these for my Etsy store and throwing them out there for 60 quid. Grinder and paint makes me the welder that I ain't. Hell, 80 quid. So this was actually quite a lot of fun to... I can't even keep a straight face. This drove me up the wall. There's a reason why it's been 2 weeks, right, since my last video. This thing made me not want to come back into my garage at all. Welding round things is unbelievably difficult. I suppose if you've been doing it for a super long time, it's, I don't know, it's probably a bit challenging, but you know, you sort of know how to do it. I have no idea how to do that, if you couldn't tell by the welds. But I at least did produce something that looks like the picture on the whiteboard. The proof of the pudding, of course, is in the eating, and it does work as designed. So I'm gonna kind of count that as a win. And as always, look for me on Instagram, check out my Etsy store page, and thanks for watching.